This is Rick Rule for Rule Investment Media and the Rule Classroom. Co-sponsors of the Boca Raton Natural Resources Investment Symposium, held July 7 through 11 in Boca Raton, or from the comfort and convenience of your own home via live stream. However you choose to attend, live or live stream, understand a few things. First, a full money-back guarantee if you're not satisfied. Secondly, over 4 days, we're going to give you 50 hours of programming, more than you could possibly absorb. So you'll have access to the tapes, which you are going to need to access to get your money's worth. Further, we interview every speaker and every exhibitor at the conference before the conference, giving you the ability to get the most out of the 50 hours you will spend at the conference. If you are interested in our exhibitors, and you should be, reach out to them before the conference. Study them before the conference. Get appointments at the conference via live stream or live before the conference so that you can allocate your time and your capital more efficiently. Note, too, that every public company exhibitor at our conference is owned in accounts owned and managed by me. While my ownership is no guarantee that their share prices go up, it is a guarantee that unlike any other investment conference on the planet, every single public company exhibitor has been vetted. Now, let's get going with the pre-conference interview. Today, my guest is a friend of long-standing Jean-Marc Staude, a person who I have been a shareholder with now for a fairly long time. Jean-Marc, thank you for a lifetime of service, really, to the mining investment business, particularly myself, of course. And thank you, too, for your sponsorship, ongoing sponsorship of the Natural Resources Investment Symposium.
Rick, it's great. We love being with the conference. We've been with the conference for over a decade and a half, and working with you, having you as a shareholder, and myself, really great to be on the conference again.
Jean-Marc, tell me something about your background in exploration. Tell me something in particular about what qualifies you, and we'll get into this topic later, for prospect generation. But tell us who Jean-Marc Staude is and why we should care about what he has to say, what answers he gives to the questions I ask.
I've been a geologist. I did my PhD in Arizona and have worked on copper for over 3 decades. And myself, I've been involved in many discoveries and exploration work, working first with major companies like Rio Tinto, Kennecott, BHP, doing lots of good work. And then also working in junior exploration. We've been able to find projects, work with major companies, and had a lot of work in copper, gold in the Americas. And it's great to be here today.
And at least initially, the University of Arizona was a well-known copper school. But it's important to note that your exploration expertise, tertiary volcanics, accreted terrain, copper porphyries, epithermal gold deposits, goes very much to what you're doing today. Tell me something about the fact that what you're doing today in exploration is a logical extension of what you grew up doing and probably aids your credibility.
It's actually been my life work. You're exactly right. When I was 18, I went and did an undergraduate degree at Pomona College in Southern California, studying volcanic geology, then a master's degree at Harvard, looking at economics and economic geology, and then a PhD studying, as you said, accreted terrains, looking at the right type of geology, the same geology that major companies build giant mines. Some of the large mines of the world developed with these major companies, and I've worked on those. And so done that for many, many decades, and done the exploration, run the exploration around the world, working in 33 countries, particularly working in the Americas. And so for us, running an exploration program where we've had 5 major companies, Antofagasta, BHP, Kinross, Centerra, lots of different partners working and funding the work that we've been doing, that helps the investors and the shareholders see that they've done their due diligence. And myself running that for over 15 years is really good credibility for what we're doing now as project generation.
So let's talk about the prospect generator model. Let's talk about the fact that your real job is to generate concepts and develop programs to test theses, but mostly your joint venture partners do the heavy financial lifting. Can you describe that process and describe, too, your background on the other side of the fence. I mean, when I first got to know you, you were a business development guy, I think first for tech, or maybe first for BHP, then for tech. And your job was to sift through the prospect generators and decide who you were going to fund. So I want you to talk about that background, and I want you to talk about how that's helped shape the company that you run today.
Has. You're totally right. And myself having that unique experience of over a decade, myself working in BHP, working with tech resources, trying to find the best projects. So what we do as an exploration company, Riverside Resources, and I really thank you, Rick, and the investment. You've been with us right from the beginning and have stuck with us. And we've done 78 projects over the last 17 years. We've actually had partner funding of over 5 times every dollar that we've put in the ground. We've had over $120 million of other people's money. And every day I'm having people come to me because they really see that we've made this business model work. And we thank you, Rick, for kind of helping us to see what this could be and us then actualizing that. And so the way it works is we find the projects, we come up with the ideas, we generate new strategic alliances. We have the other people's money, the major company or mid-tier or even small juniors fully fund the work at the asset level where we retain the project until they earn into it. And we always have a royalty. So over the last 17 years, now we have a huge portfolio of royalties. So Riverside has been a royalty generator, not through buying projects or through spending money, but through staking them and using OPM, other people's money, to de-risk the projects, Rick. You're totally right. And so for us as shareholders, only having 75 million shares out after 17 years is pretty unheard of. And not having to finance since prior to COVID is another key step for Riverside.
Now, Jean-Marc, when it's been more convenient for you or more efficacious for your shareholders, rather than farm a project out, you've actually formed the company that you farmed it out to. And often you have distributed shares of those companies to your shareholders. Can you tell us something about the merchant banking business and the returns that you've managed to generate for your shareholders, myself included, over these years through your merchant banking activities?
Well, we're so excited. Yeah, we're coming to the conference again with yet another company that we're dividending to shareholders. So we've done this multiple times. We've helped 7 companies over the 17 years form and grow. And twice we've actually dividended those to the shareholders, most recently in the past with Capitan Silver. And it's great. So shareholders of Riverside get shares as well in the spin-out company. And now we're doing that again. Right now, right at the time of this Rule Conference, we're doing that now with Blue Jay Gold Corp. I'm still the chairman. I still love the projects we've created, and we give those to shareholders. So overall, we've provided a 15% compounded rate of return over the last decade to shareholders. If you look at the shares and what we spun out and the assets we've given back to shareholders, it's not just owning Riverside, but getting our children, the things we're spinning out and giving those to the shareholders has been wonderful. And myself, being a large shareholder, I love it. It's really helped pay for the house. It's paid for a lot of stuff. It's really great. So it's been a really good return. It's a super business model. And right now we're very excited to be at the conference again this year.
Jean-Marc, what's the market cap and the enterprise value of Riverside? What are people paying for this merchant come prospect generator?
It's so amazing. Riverside only has an 11 million market cap, and we have over 4 million cash. So our enterprise value is only 7 million. However, interestingly, the corporations that have come out of Riverside, if you add up their market caps, it's over 900 million. In other words, we've helped to create big projects, but Riverside itself is very small. So if you buy Riverside, you get the spinouts. The spinouts alone have well over 130 million in market cap just from the spinouts and overall all the different things. So by owning Riverside, you get the upside of large market cap and you get the low enterprise value. So it's a really good value proposition, Riverside.
And for our international listeners, those numbers that you cited, the market cap and the enterprise value numbers, are those US dollars or Canadian dollars?
Those are actually Canadian dollars. So in fact, looking at the exchange rate and stuff, it's even much smaller. So from a US standpoint, our market cap is only 8 million and our enterprise value is only 4 million. So it's a really good value proposition for the upside. And by getting the spin outs, that's been wonderful return for shareholders. And we're so happy to be doing that again. So it's a great time to be with Riverside.
I hope our listeners are paying attention to the value that's been created and the value that can be created in the future, the capital efficiency of the business model using other people's money, and the wrapper, which is to say how much money that you're paying for this opportunity. Does this opportunity have a symbol, Jean-Marc? How can people participate?
We do. On the US side, that's RVSDF, 5 letters. And on the Canadian side, it's RRI, 3 letters. So we really welcome the trading on either side. We have a very liquid market, and we've had the company going for over 17 years, not had any lawsuits, any problems, any rollbacks, anything like that. It's a very clean company, and we like working and being available to shareholders and people at your conference.
Tell us both who your historic customers were, who liked you enough to spend money with you, and tell us something about your current exploration efforts so that people get a sense of what you might do for them over the next couple of years.
We're so lucky. We've worked with major companies like Kinross Gold, BHP, Antofagasta, Hochschild Mining, Centerra Gold, and many others. And we built out projects in iron ore for Cliffs or in gold for working with Hochschild and different companies, working currently with Fortuna Mining. So right now, the catalysts are working on Fortuna Mining. We're doing drill projects in Mexico. We're also working with junior companies like Quest Corp and working with other companies like Southern Empire doing drilling and exploration. They're fully funding over 5 or 6 times the amount of money Riverside puts in the ground. The partners are funding. And so right now, the catalyst in the next 3 months will be drill results, exploration results, as well the work in Canada, working with our spin-out company where we bundled up the projects and dividending that over to shareholders. So you get the upside, and Riverside has royalties on all of that. So it's a really good business model. And for you as a shareholder, getting those spin-outs is fabulous. Right now is the opportunity for that.
Jean-Marc, if our prospective attendees would like to learn more about Riverside, who specifically at Riverside can they contact, and how specifically can they reach this person?
Please contact me. We have investor relations as well. You can give me a call at 778-327-6671 or email us at info@rivres.com. We have a website. That's RIVRES.com. We have social media, so reach out. We'd love to. You can Google us, Riverside Resources, Inc. Myself, Eric does the investor relations. Love to talk to any people and really love to give you the story. I'm super excited about what Riverside has going and great to be with Rick Rule. It's great, Rick. Thank you.
Jean-Marc, thank you for a couple decades of hard work and friendship as well. Thank you, in addition, for your ongoing sponsorship and support of our Natural Resources Investment Symposium. I look forward to hosting you at Boca Raton.
Love to be there again and meet all the different people that come virtually or in person.